Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to All Under the Squirrel Tree. I broke off a branch on my tree. I'll have to glue it back on. Today is Sunday. That means it's Stampin' Sunday, hosted by Thelma Hall and Paula at Craftin' by the Pond. If you have watched some of my other videos, know that I spend quite a bit of time making up little crafty kits to send to women's shelters around the city, and a couple of them, and I decided that I needed to make a stamping one. So this is start to finish making a rubber stamp. So it does qualify as Stamping Sunday. So this is actually very thin craft foam. It ideally would be thicker, but you know, you use what you got, right? I thought that with Christmas coming up, it would be a good idea to start making a few Christmas stamps. Mind you, the kits that I send out are basically going to be this, like a piece of foam, a piece of shrink plastic, approximately the same size, maybe just a little taller for safety, because I'll show you why eventually. So this I purchased at Temu. Actually, pretty much everything here I purchased at Temu. Not the scissors and not the pen. Oh, and not the plastic here. But other than that. So, don't need this for a minute, but I'm going to keep it right here under the ink. Now, I figured that with Christmas coming up, it might be a good idea to make up some Christmassy type stamps. Well, again, this is going like this so they can make up whatever stamp they want, but the suggestion that I'm going to, and because I'm such a terrible artist, I decided to go with something like really difficult. It will actually be cut out, so it doesn't really matter that I'm, you know, doing such terrible lines. Because I never could, well, I don't draw well, let's put it that way. I like to draw, but I don't draw well. Let's try and make it as even as possible. Now with these type of foam, type of stamps, they have to be sort of, the less detailed the better, put it that way. So, with that done, I'm going to cut it out, and in a panic realize that I don't have my black ink, but that's okay, I don't really need it. So, cut this out. Fortunately, all of this is fairly quick. There is one part coming up in a few minutes that I will, what do you call it? I'll fast forward or pause because it's just very noisy. These sheets I got, as I said, from Temu. I think I paid like $5 or $6 for 20 of them. I can't remember. That might have been the felt. I bought felt too. There. So, just in case my drawing is that bad, it's a gingerbread man. Well, that's not so bad. It's not so bad at all. Okay, now, this is where part of the fun stuff comes. I still have not found my stamping block. I'm thinking maybe because it was like clear, I'm quite possibly threw it out. You know, it gets caught up in stuff, and then you throw it out. Now, in some cases, like if I was going to keep this for myself, and planning on reusing it, I finally got a hold of some Tack It Over and Over by Eileen's. You put a thin coat on there, let it dry, and then put another very thin coat, let it dry. Just because it's man-made foam, well, all foam is man-made foam, crafting foam. Make sure it's a nice even coat, and then it will stick to whatever plastic you put it to, and keep it forever and ever and ever till it wears out. This I'm not going to, so I won't bother, but okay, quit the chat. At this point, I will ink it up. I have this, because you can tell this is like a little gingerbread dude here, right? So I have the brown ink, which seems to be sort of running out a bit. Is it possible? It's probably not. When you get the shrink plastic from Temu, it's pretty much any of the stuff that I've seen is already sanded on one side, which is great. Because part of the problems with when you use shrink it and it doesn't bake well is because of the grain from sanding. But anyway, oh, I'm getting this everywhere but where it needs to be. Come on. Okay, that will do. Now, really, really carefully make sure you've got the sanded side up. Pop down your little stamp. This is one of those times when it doesn't really matter that it's, you know, maybe not a lot of ink and kind of faded, because another thing about shrink plastic is when it does shrink, oh, I see fingernail marks. When it does shrink, you get, it gets darker, much more vibrant. So after that is done, I should have had my markers, but I didn't. What kind of marker set comes without a black? Oh, here we go. There we go. We just draw on nice little happy face. If you want it white, like icing, leave the, try and leave the ink off it. That's, you'd have to cut out a smile or cut out the, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pretend that this little gingerbread dude has red icing. Just for buttons. I'm going to keep it simple for this video. Nice big pom-pom buttons. Let's give them some blue boots. Just because. Why not, right? There, that will do. For all intents and purposes, that will do. Scooby-Doo. So, this actually will take a couple of minutes to dry. As I said, this is the stamp. This is hopefully what will allow it into Stamping Sundays. I will, actually, because this turned out rather cute, I'm going to keep it, so I will put the Tack It Over and Over again on the back. But at this point, I'm just going to roughly cut it around. I'm going to leave a little spot up here where I can put a hole in case I want to turn it into a keychain which will be the idea when I went behind the little kits. When I put them together, I'm including some keychains so they can make a keychain for their new home, and or they can make it as a gift or whatever makes them happy. Can hang it off their backpack or give it to a friend, or you know, whatever. Like I said, whatever makes them happy. Now I'm going to leave the stamp here so that it stays in view and you keep seeing it. Oh, there it is. I'm looking everywhere for the hole punch, and it's right in front of me. If you have fancy shaped hole punches, that would be awesome in these things, but mine are put away. So I want to be sure that the chain that I'm putting through fits, so I'm making kind of like a double hole. Oh, it's in there. Now, this is where the magic happens that whoops, oh gosh, sorry. Did I have to put you on hold for a minute? I'm going to use my shrink tool. Well, it is my heat tool that I also got from Temu. It was just under $12, but that was a while ago. I looked at them recently and they've gone up a little bit, but still worth every cent. I love this thing. This also works with this. Oh, I can show this totally off this one, but let me just plug this dude in. Where's my extension cord? Okay. Now, I'm going to put you on pause for a couple of minutes while I shrink this down, because it's very noisy and I don't know how to mute it. I've also lost my pokey tool. I have to tidy up my craft corner here. Well, I got scissors. They'll work too. Okay. So I will pop you back in for like the last minute of this shrinking, because it is really cool to watch. You don't have to have a heat tool either. You could do these in the oven. I think I read somewhere there's another way to do them, but the only ones that I know of that work for me are the oven and the shrink tool. Okay, so say goodbye to this little 3-inch guy, because he'll be back in a couple of minutes, a little bit different. I'll see you in a few. And I'm back. And very quickly, just because I had it sitting there, this is the stamping foam block that I got from Temu. This is over a month it's held this image, but watch how quickly this happens. Plug your ears if you don't like the noise. Oh, it's taking longer than usual. I guess it's sat so long that it's a little bit more permanent. It's coming out though. Anyway, the whole thing behind this stamp is that you can make an image and it stays, and then it very quickly disappears again. Right, enough of that. Let's put this away now, because we don't need any more noise. I just saw that sitting there and thought I'd give it a try. Anyway, here is our little buddy, still very warm. Whoa. This is how much he shrunk. This is when I should have my black circle here. But I don't. So I will use the purple. Come on, come on. See? That's how much he shrunk. This is just leftover stuff. Now, very cute. There's one lesson that I learned with this. When you're using stamping on shrink plastic, wait until it is 100% dry. Otherwise, it will curl up and get stuck, and then you'll have to fiddle. So, from that size stamp to that size end, and then I have these neat little keychains that also, they came in the shrink plastic kit that I bought on Temu. Simple as that. There you go. Come on, come on. Well, I'm not going to fiddle with it to get it together, but get it together, woman. But, yeah, opal hair everywhere. Nice little rubber stamped, well, foam stamped keychain. Any type of stamp will do. I only used the foam stamp because it was kind of like an opportunity to introduce something a little new in a different use. And I don't have any Christmas stamps. So this was my start into the Christmas world. I think I'm really liking how this turned out. This will definitely become a kit for my friend Catherine and her group, Bags of Love Toronto. So there, that's my little thing for Stampin' Sunday. Again, hosted by Thelma Hall and Paula Crafting by the Pond. Go check both of them out. They're really, really, really great sites. Channels. They're not called sites on YouTube, are they? They're called channels. Yep, so take any rubber stamp you have. You can use it on Shrink It. Color it all in before. If you use anything wet, like inks or markers or paints, make sure that they are like 24-hour dry before you shrink. And what am I reaching for? Oh, this. Have a lot of fun, and I'll see you again under the squirrel tree. Bye.